Welcome to Tale Spinners, where we bring stories to life. In this video, we present to you Love Beyond Loss. Without further ado, let's begin. It was a cold, blustery evening in the small town of Millfield. The sky was a deep shade of gray, and the trees swayed violently in the wind. The people of the town were holed up in their homes, warm and cozy, with blankets and cups of hot cocoa. All except for one woman, Lily. Lily was walking briskly down the empty street, her coat wrapped tightly around her. She was on her way to the hospital, where her husband was battling a serious illness. She had received a call from the doctor earlier that day, informing her that his condition had worsened, and she needed to be there as soon as possible. As she reached the hospital, she saw her husband lying in bed, hooked up to a tangle of tubes and wires. His face was pale and drawn, and he looked at her weakly as she entered the room. "Hey, sweetheart," he whispered. "I'm so glad you're here." Lily rushed to his side, taking his hand in hers. "How are you feeling?" she asked, her voice choked with tears. He shook his head, his eyes closing momentarily. "Not great," he said softly. "But I'm glad you're here with me." Over the next few days, Lily spent every waking moment at her husband's bedside. She held his hand, stroked his hair, and whispered words of encouragement to him. But despite all her efforts, his condition continued to deteriorate. One evening, as Lily was sitting next to her husband's bed, the doctor came in to speak with her. He looked grave and spoke in a hushed tone. "I'm sorry, Lily," he said. "There's nothing more we can do. Your husband's condition is terminal." Lily felt a lump rise in her throat. She looked over at her husband, who was asleep, his chest rising and falling weakly. "What can I do?" she asked the doctor. "How can I make him more comfortable?" The doctor sighed. "There's not much we can do, I'm afraid. We'll keep him as pain-free as possible, but the rest is up to him." Lily nodded, tears streaming down her face. She stayed with her husband that night, holding his hand and telling him how much she loved him. In the early hours of the morning, he passed away peacefully in his sleep. Lily was inconsolable. She felt like a part of her had been ripped away. She couldn't bear the thought of living without her husband. But life had to go on. Over the next few weeks, Lily tried to adjust to her new life without her husband. She went back to work, tried to socialize with friends, and even took up a new hobby. But nothing seemed to fill the void in her heart. One day, while taking a walk in the park, Lily met a man named David. He was kind, intelligent, and had a good sense of humor. They struck up a conversation, and soon found that they had a lot in common. As they spent more time together, Lily began to feel a flicker of hope. Maybe she could find happiness again. Maybe David was the one. But as their relationship deepened, Lily found herself struggling with guilt. Was it too soon to be moving on? Was she betraying her husband's memory? David was patient and understanding. He listened to her concerns, and told her that he wasn't trying to replace her husband. He just wanted to be there for her, to help her through her grief. Eventually, Lily realized that she had to let go of her guilt. She could honor her husband's memory and still find happiness with someone else. And so she took a chance. As Lily and David's relationship continued to grow, she found herself feeling more and more alive. She laughed more easily, and even found herself thinking about the future again. But as much as she tried to push her guilt away, it still lingered in the back of her mind. She wondered if she was doing the right thing, if she was betraying her husband's memory by moving on so quickly. One day, as they were sitting on a park bench, Lily decided to tell David how she was feeling. "I don't know if I'm ready for this," she said, her voice trembling. "I feel like I'm betraying my husband's memory." David took her hand in his. "Lily, you're not betraying anyone," he said gently. "Your husband will always hold a special place in your heart, but that doesn't mean you can't find happiness with someone else." Lily looked into his eyes, and saw nothing but kindness and understanding. She felt a weight lift from her chest, and she knew that David was right. She didn't have to choose between her past and her future. As their relationship grew stronger, Lily and David started to talk about the future. They talked about moving in together, and eventually getting married. And even though part of her was still grieving, Lily couldn't help but feel excited about the possibility of a new life with David. But just as things were looking up, Lily received some devastating news. Her father, who had been ill for some time, had taken a turn for the worse. She rushed to the hospital, where she found her mother sitting by his bedside. Over the next few days, Lily and her mother sat with her father, holding his hand and talking to him. But despite their efforts, he passed away peacefully in his sleep. Lily was devastated. Losing her father so soon after losing her husband felt like too much to bear. But this time, she had David by her side. He held her as she cried, and he helped her through the funeral and the difficult weeks that followed. And slowly but surely, Lily began to heal. She realized that she had the strength to overcome even the darkest of times, as long as she had the love and support of the people around her. As she looked ahead to the future, Lily knew that it wouldn't be easy. She would always carry a part of her husband and her father with her. But she also knew that she had a new family now, a family that would stand by her no matter what. And as she took David's hand and looked into his eyes, she knew that she was ready to start a new chapter in her life. A chapter filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. Lily and David moved in together and started their new life as a couple. It was an adjustment for Lily to live with someone new after so many years of being married to her late husband, but David was patient and understanding. He gave her the space she needed to grieve and also supported her through the tough times. As time passed, Lily found herself falling more in love with David. He was kind, caring, and always put her first. She knew that she had made the right choice in starting a new life with him. One day, David surprised Lily with a proposal. They were out for a walk in the park when he got down on one knee and presented her with a beautiful ring. "Lily, I love you more than anything in this world," he said. "Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Lily's face as she said yes. She knew that her late husband would have wanted her to be happy, and she was certain that he would approve of David. They started planning their wedding, and Lily couldn't wait to start this new chapter in her life. She knew that it would be a bittersweet day, as she would be thinking of her late husband and her father, but she also knew that they would be with her in spirit. The day of the wedding arrived, and Lily was nervous but excited. She slipped into her wedding dress and walked down the aisle, arm in arm with her son, who was giving her away. As she stood in front of David, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be. They exchanged vows, and Lily felt her heart overflow with love. She knew that she would always love her late husband, but she also knew that she had room in her heart for David. As they left the church, hand in hand, Lily knew that her life would never be the same. She had faced some of the toughest challenges anyone could face, but she had also found love and happiness in unexpected places. She knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but she was ready to face whatever came her way. With David by her side, she knew that anything was possible. After their wedding, Lily and David settled into married life. They were happy together and enjoyed spending time with each other. They went on trips, took long walks, and shared quiet moments together. But soon after their first anniversary, Lily began to feel unwell. At first, she dismissed it as a minor illness, but as the days went by, her symptoms worsened. She went to see a doctor and was diagnosed with cancer. Lily was devastated. She had fought so hard to rebuild her life after losing her husband and father, and now she was facing yet another battle. David was her rock during this difficult time. He went with her to all her doctor appointments, held her hand during treatments, and stayed up with her during long, sleepless nights. Lily's treatment was grueling, but she was determined to fight. She had so much to live for and wasn't ready to give up. David stood by her side every step of the way, never once faltering in his love and support. Together, they faced the ups and downs of Lily's illness. As the months went by, Lily's health began to improve. She was grateful for every day that she had, and she and David cherished their time together even more. But one day, Lily's cancer returned. This time, it was more aggressive, and the prognosis wasn't good. Lily knew that her time was limited, but she refused to give up hope. She and David spent every moment together, making the most of the time they had left. As her health declined, Lily made sure to tell everyone she loved how much they meant to her. She knew that her time was short, but she wanted to leave a lasting impact on the people in her life. And when she passed away, surrounded by her family and friends, she knew that she had lived a full and meaningful life. David was heartbroken, but he was grateful for the time that he had shared with Lily. He knew that she had loved him with all her heart, and he would never forget the impact she had on his life. As he sat alone in their home, surrounded by memories of their life together, he realized that even in death, Lily had taught him the true meaning of love and the importance of cherishing every moment. He knew that he would never forget her, and he would always hold her memory close to his heart. Thanks for listening to Tale Spinners. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fantastic storytelling.